In our beautiful Christian religion, there are a lot of cowards and a definite lack of creativity. Okay, maybe cowards is taking this a bit too far, but wow, I don't know another word to use for people who agree with the enemy because they feel dumb or stupid defending the traditional Christian position. Maybe the enemy can be correct at times, but the word Almah, feminine for virgin in Hebrew, Elim, the masculine of Almah in Hebrew, and the word Parthenos, virgin in Greek, are all virgins every time they are used in Tanakh. I think that when we are placed in an embarrassing lack of knowledge, we should just say, I don't know how to answer that, but they are all virgins. When we become really smart and call ourselves apologists, we can still say, I don't know how to answer that. We should not let somebody's clever framing undermine positions held as long as St. Jerome. That's a long time. So, in this next series, we will take care of everything I just mentioned. And I'm also going to throw in Sodom and Gomorrah for idiots too. I mean dummies. Because no rabbi or Christian pastor has any idea what is about to happen. And it is key to understanding the end times. I may do another topic or two, but we'll see. Today we are going to focus on Parthenos, the Greek word for virgin, used in Isaiah 7:14, Matthew 1:23, and is also used after the rape of Dinah to describe her after she's raped. If you can believe it. Here's how the anti-missionary frames it. They frame it in the most embarrassing way possible so that you repent for your Christian position. It's all right to be a Christian living without the answers. But we live in a time where answers are kind of like God's, eh? But that's not our religion. Though I am blind, I see. Here's how it goes. Isaiah 7:14 in your Greek Septuagint uses the Greek word Parthenos, which Matthew also uses when describing Mary. But after the rape of Dinah by Hamor, in the next verse, Dinah, after her rape, can I say after her rape again? After her rape, she is called a Parthenos. You stupid Christian, you're so stupid, dummy. You can see, if these words are said in the correct way, they can make being in a lack of knowledge about how to respond quite embarrassing. We never have to have the answer to every question. And since our religion is not Gnostic, meaning having knowledge in origin, but anti-Gnostic, by faith, walking in blindness in origin, there should be no problem for us to not be able to answer this supposed rebuttal. But having said that, there are people within our ranks that have sided with the enemy because they lack the character, fortitude, and ability to walk and see, though blind, to the answers. But I digress. There is often a misunderstood verse in the New Testament that is used when describing the role of an apologist. Sanctify Christ as Lord in your hearts, always being ready to make a defense to everyone who asks you to give an account for the hope that is in you. Is an indefinite article. You never have to have the answer at any time. And this is not referring to arguing Christian doctrine, as some seem to think, and the truth of Christianity, but just to how your individual faith, that you now practice, to give an answer for. Despite not having the definite article, people seem to read it with the definite article. When you unconsciously put the instead of have the answer instead of a answer, it can place a lot of pressure on yourself. When you can just feel joy that you are saved. This is likely why Julius Cis and William repented for worshiping the King of Glory. Because of these pathetic arguments about Parthenos and everything else. Oh, I don't have an answer. Okay. My name is William. I'm going to call Rabbi Singer. Help me. I am dumb. But we'll answer this objection here today. Having said all that, though, it is important that we let faith be a part of our relationship with our God, since it is the only way to please Him. Here is the Greek using Parthenos after the rape of Dinah twice, just so we don't miss it. So don't be dogmatic, Christian, or I will embarrass you. What a joke. And his soul, meaning Hamor, cleaved unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, virgin, and spoke kindly unto the damsel, virgin. Here is Matthew using the same word to describe Mary apparently being a virgin before the conception of Jesus. The King of the Jews, despite what your rabbis tell you, okay? He is the King of the Jews, okay? Just accept it. Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is interpreted God with us. Here is Isaiah 7:14, using the same word, Parthenos. Oh no, what am I going to do? Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is interpreted God with us. Isaiah using the same word, Parthenos. Well, which is where Matthew kind of gets that from, if you don't know. So, as a Christian who rely to some extent on our leaders to come up with a defensible position on this issue, what are we to make of it? Well, as far as I'm aware of, they have run to and fro with all kinds of answers, but there is none that I am aware of except ones that agree with the rabbis. But just in case I am wrong, you can leave a comment in the comments section so that we can read where this first rebuttal came from. Yeah, want to read it, man, because your comments are just great. I love the loving things you say. In order to rebut this, we are going to use the Socratic method of argumentation. Okay? Which just means we are going to ask a question. Now, the answer to this question might seem far-fetched, but beware and bear with me, because there is what I believe a great answer to this question. Okay, here is the question. Can a woman be a Almah or a Parthenos after she is raped? I'd give you 5 seconds. This is where I usually give you 5 seconds, right? But I'm not going to give you 5 seconds anymore, okay? Because, you don't want me to say that, okay? And that really matters to me, what you guys think of me, okay? But if you can answer this question with a yes, then you have solved the problem presented by the rabbis. Now, for those of you who follow the rabbis, okay? I'm speaking to you right now. the seekers of smooth things, the disciples of the seekers of smooth things, that are just waiting for me to make a mistake so you can laugh at me. This would be a good time for you to close the video and go back to your little world where Christians are wrong and dumb and cannot answer the questions presented by your rabbis with a yes, okay? Or this question with a yes, okay? I wouldn't want you to have more doubts, to go with all those other doubts that my videos are creating in you. If you keep listening, you may eventually become a Jesus-worshiping Christian and believe he's the Son of God, and that you might be washed in his blood and receive the forgiveness of sins. He is returning soon. Well, okay. For those of you who have stayed, congratulations on your bravery, but you can click it off now, like your rabbis are telling you. Don't even go listen to those guys. Only listen to us because, we don't want you to listen to anybody else, especially the ones we can't rebut. Only the TikTok guys that don't know anything. Just listen to them. So, because those are the guys we can rebut. The Greek Tanakh that makes Dinah a virgin after her rape is an older translation of the Hebrew Tanakh, and therefore superior, and is aware of a tradition that the inferior Hebrew translation is not. And what is that, you ask? Well, let's look at the end of the book of Judges first and use the Socratic method there too. In Judges 19, we are told of the Levite who went looking for his concubine, who was at her father's house to take her home with him. After his journey, he arrives at the father's house, and just to fast forward this a bit, when at night the men of the city surrounded the house and demanded that the father let the Levite out of the house so that the men could rape him. I'll be using this in the Sodom and Gomorrah story too, which I don't know when I'm going to do it exactly. Here's the Socratic method question. After the daughter is given to the men of the city, assuming that she was also a virgin, and I know that she is not, but assuming that she was, after the men of the city had raped her to death, as the story makes very clear, could she also be a virgin or a Parthenos? The answer is yes. If the men had only sodomized her, which I believe to be the case, she would still be a virgin because the Hebrew Bible defines virginity by an unbroken hymen, which the Greek Tanakh was aware of. Dinah was sodomized by Hamor, and the great Hebrew Greek scribes that translated that story were aware of that. But the inferior Hebrew Tanakh scribes were not aware of that important detail. Oh, poor Hebrew scribes, poor Hebrew Tanakh.